I've also had some people show up in my YouTube comments and they're like, they see how I interact and the way I act, and they're like, there's no way this girl actually cleared ultimates. Like, she paid. And so, like, I even have a VOD channel specifically. Like, yeah, exactly. And it's hard to talk about this with people who don't go through it themselves, that when you upload a video and if it's not performing as well as you would have hoped, and it's kind of like despair. You try not to tie your worth to numbers, analytics. That's another part of, like, content creation that I went to therapy for. I'm not even lying. I went to therapy for a whole number of different reasons, but content creation was like one of them, because when my videos started getting more popular, people were coming after me just for my voice or my looks and stuff, and I have never received so many angry, hateful comments. It threw me into a spiral of depression because it was my first experience dealing with that. And so with more exposure, you're gonna get more people like that, but then you're also gonna get more people that, like, you know, generally enjoy your content, stuff like that. So it's like a roller coaster. People think like, oh, content creation is so easy, you just upload a video and that's that. But there's so much that goes into it. It's just, yeah. So I only recently started being like consistent with my stuff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chocobo Radio, episode number 24. Today, we have a very, very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are.
Hi, I'm Mirubuns. I make different kinds of content, mostly on YouTube. I do stream a little bit of variety here and there, but it's mostly been Final Fantasy 14. So you might have seen like my Adventure Plate video series. That one's pretty popular. But yeah, I started playing 14 like in 2020, and then I thought I would play for like a month, and I'm still playing it. So yeah, that's mostly my content is centered around 14. So
okay,
yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. You know, that's actually where I wanted to start with you today, is just by asking, and I think you pretty much already answered this, but was 14 your first MMO?
No, it was WoW.
Okay.
I don't think you count RuneScape, right? Like RuneScape isn't really like I mean, like an MMORPG, right? It's more like an MMO kind of. Yeah. Okay, then it's WoW.
Okay.
Yeah, I played WoW in like 2009.
Yeah. And what exactly made you stick with 14?
I feel like a variety of things. Like when, like I'm big on like video game music. So like the music's amazing. The story was really good. I love the characters.
Yeah.
I love like a lot of the content the game offers. So overall, it's like been such a fun experience for me. So I think that's what's kept me like playing the game.
Awesome. Okay.
For such a long time.
So, you know, I think may as well just jump right into the news, which is where we always start. And we are coming off the cusp of FanFest 2024 Japan. There was so much that was talked about. There was so much that was revealed. And I think what I want to ask you first is, what are you most hyped for from everything that we saw?
So it's funny because for me, I know not everyone does ultimates. It's like apparently it's like a really small percent of people that do ultimates. Have you ever done an ultimate?
I've queued in one and stood in the Uwu fight, but that I have not cleared any of them.
Oh, you actually like joined a party finder and did Uwu? Okay.
So yeah, because the thing is, what I've learned is that you really do need to have a static to do an ultimate, especially when you are just first starting off, because there has been so many times where I'll join like a early party, so like a beginner party, and people will still leave if, you know, one or two people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And because of that, I found that I really do need a static.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that much Party Finder, but I've heard a lot of like good and bad stories, and I figured, yeah, like you could just do fresh pog, but I guess people will still like leave anyway regardless. But it was not a bad one to start with. So I like ultimates because I like the challenge of it, and I like the shiny glowy weapon in the title. So when they announced Eden ultimate, I was like freaking out because also for Savage, Eden Promise, like E9S or E12S was my first raid tier, like Savage raid tier.
Yeah.
So it has like a super special place in my heart. And then I was like, oh my god, like they're doing an ultimate based off of Eden. So to me, like that's one thing. Well, like that's like the top thing I'm looking forward to the most. But another thing is also Pictomancer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, that's actually a really, really good segue to our first topic, which is the new jobs coming in Dawntrail. So, as you mentioned, Pictomancer was pretty much the one that everyone kind of had up in the air about whether it's going to be a green mage, whether it was going to be a Pictomancer. Were you surprised that it was Pictomancer? Were you on the green mage side of things?
Well, apparently Pictomancer was like super obvious, and I actually wasn't that familiar with it.
Yeah.
It seemed like more commonly talked about was Green Mage, so I was like, oh yeah, and like I saw a lot of like speculations and people posting about it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense enough. And then when they revealed Pictomancer, do you remember how Yoshi P was wearing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirts? And I was like, oh, that's right. They're named after artists.
Yeah.
So like that makes sense now. It didn't click in my head.
Yeah, me neither. But you know what? I was actually so surprised at how much negativity there was for Pictomancer. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you go to the Reddit thread of the official, job trailer video, there is so much negativity with Pictomancer, and I don't understand it. It seems like a lot of the comments were saying that it doesn't fit the game's art style, that it just feels off, it feels weird. And I'm just wondering, did that bother you at all?
It didn't bother me because I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really use Reddit that much. So I was mostly like on Twitter when all the announcements were happening. And it seemed like a lot of people were excited about it. And there's even like so much like fan art about it, so many memes about it. Like, if anything, like, I don't know, I just thought it seemed like more people from what I saw were hyped about it. And I don't really understand the argument that it doesn't fit into the game's art style when it's, I don't know, like I thought, like it is already like I think, was it from Final Fantasy VI? Is that where it's from?
Yeah.
Like the Pictomancer was already like a Final Fantasy job. It's not like they just brought it up out of nowhere, got inspired by like Lost Ark's painter or whatever. So that's already like a Final Fantasy job to begin with. I'm not sure, like even then, like if people are not that hyped about something, I personally don't really care. Because I'm just like, okay, you're not excited about it, but I am. So yeah.
No, I get it. So Pictomancer is going to be a caster DPS. You have a paintbrush as a weapon, and it shares the gear of Black Mage and Summoner, of course. And Cryo seems to be the person who's going to be spearheading the job in the new MSQ. So I'm really excited about that. And then we also got Viper. So I'm curious as to what you think about Viper as a job.
As a job, I think it does look really cool. I guess like when they announced that we're getting 2 new jobs, and one of them was melee and one of them was caster, I was more excited about caster because I'm a caster main. But even then, I tried to pick up a couple melee jobs, and I guess, I don't know, maybe it was like shared that we have already a lot of melee jobs. So I think maybe some people were hoping for like a new fizz range, or maybe even like another tank. I'm not sure. But for me, like, I don't know. Some people argue, oh, well, fizz range are in like a really bad spot right now. But for someone, say like they just want to do casual content, they don't want to play fully optimized, like, I don't know, maybe if it was like a really cool fizz range job, it would maybe entice people to play it more, because I'm personally like not that interested in Bard or like Dancer, and Machinist is like, okay. Do you play Fizz Range, or like
so I mainly play Warrior. Warrior has been my main for a little while. And yeah, exactly. And then I really got into Red Mage. That was my DPS class that I started playing a lot.
Oh, Red Mage is fun.
Yeah, Red Mage is great. If you haven't played Red Mage, it definitely is one of the best, top 5, if anything, top 5. And then on the healing side, I just love my Sage. Sage is great.
Sage is fun.
But yeah, so Viper, like you said, is going to be a melee DPS. We have twin sword weapons, and it shares gears with Ninja, which is, I think, good, because I think Ninja right now is basically on its own, right, when it comes to its gear.
Ninja? I think so. I'm actually not sure. You know what? Can I check in game?
Yeah.
I actually don't know at the top
We are
of my
Final
head.
Fantasy 14 pros, chat.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. I tried learning Ninja and yeah, because I boosted. I played like Remake Integrate and I played as Yuffie and I was like, oh, I should play Ninja in 14 and then I boosted it and I have no idea what to do. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, my ninja's still at level 1, so I'm right there with you. So the third class that we got is Beastmaster. So I think this one kind of was the one that surprised everybody. Maybe not too much of a surprise because I feel like a lot of people have been talking about it for years now. But now that we actually have it, I'm curious to think of, what do you think of Beastmaster being a limited job? Does that bother you at all? What do you think?
I guess it kind of makes sense. Because I even talked about it with other people when they were talking about like, oh, what do you think? Like a new in the this was before they announced that it was going to be specifically only melee and caster. They're like, oh, what do you think the new job would be? Wouldn't be Beastmaster be really cool? Apparently, like I'm not as familiar with it, even though it sounds really cool and exciting. I've watched a little bit of like, I forgot where did it mostly? Which Final Fantasy did it mostly?
Blue Mage?
Split? No, Beastmaster.
Oh, Beastmaster. I think Beastmaster also comes from 6.
From 6? I need to play 6, and I need to play 9.
Yeah.
I need to play a lot of them. I only recently finished 4, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I started it, and yeah.
4?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it.
What? It's okay. It took me a year to finish 4.
Because here's the thing. Like for me, I started on 7. 7 has been my game since I was a kid. Like I played it back in the PS1, and ever since then I've played 7. I played Crisis Core on the PSP. I watched the movies. I played the remake. Like 7 has always been my favorite like Final Fantasy, and then I came to 14. So I haven't really played a lot of the franchise games, and that's one thing that I really want to start doing, and I'll probably start doing that probably this year, which is at some point just go through every single Final Fantasy. Because I played a little bit of 15. I got like halfway through it, and 15 was really good. And
that's farther than me.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for the PC version of 16 to come out.
Oh, I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah, but Beastmaster, I personally think that Ehrenfeld is going to be the one who introduces the job to the Warrior of Light, because he's a gleaner, and gleaners, their entire job is collecting things. So that's what I think is going to happen, and I think that's how they're going to incorporate him into the game.
That is a very smart speculation. Yeah, I didn't even think that far ahead. I was just like, oh, cool, Beastmaster. And we get to collect them like Pokemon.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk to you about. So what kind of how do you think they're going to incorporate it into the game? Because that's exactly what I thought. I think it's going to be some sort of Pokemon style thing where you just go around. You could collect mobs, I'm guessing, or
maybe. I guess like originally when they talked about collecting different beasts, so I know so Final Fantasy X was actually my first Final Fantasy. Without spoiling anything, there's just this one part where you can collect different monsters.
Yeah.
So like you're given like a weapon, and then you can like catch different monsters for collection. So I don't know, like that's the first thing that like, popped up in my mind when you talked about collecting them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how exactly they'll go about it, but maybe it'll be like like you said, maybe we'll have to fight against certain mobs, and once you defeat them, they're a collection or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested how they're gonna incorporate that concept, because it sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah, one of the things that I've always said that this game needs a little bit more of is things to do in the overworld. Because anybody who's played DPS knows that, if you're waiting for a roulette or you're waiting for some sort of queue, and you're just sitting there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, even with a lot of the older content, you're either fighting fates or you're standing around Limsa, and there isn't like I always think that they could just add more to the overall, the things to do while you're waiting in queue, and I think that is where Beastmaster comes in, and that's kind of what I hope happens.
Hmm. Did you ever play WoW? Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
Well,
no? Oh, okay.
So I remember as a kid, I remember getting like a demo disc in like a cereal box for WoW, like a free trial. And I remember playing that, but other than that, I've never actually sat down and gave it a shot.
Okay, I just saw Revenge mentioned he wants it to mimic the WoW's battle pet system, but I'm not familiar with that system at all. Also, hold on, let me pull up this. I need to remember to follow. I'm following you right now before I forget to follow you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think it'll be fun because I don't know. Did you ever try Blue Mage also? Because Blue Mage is another limited job.
Yeah, and so that's actually where I wanted to take this. So, what is your experience with Blue Mage so far?
So far I haven't done, because I know some people get Blue Mage groups together and they do like Savage content with it, which is how I believe is you get one of the marble mounts.
Yeah.
So I want to do that. I've only ever done like a couple fights with them, and I think it's a little bit of a hassle to collect the spells and level it up, but it's gotten a little bit easier now to level it up. And then there's the whole like carnival. Yeah, exactly. Spitfish.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit easier to level it up now. I need to touch back on it because I haven't touched on Blue Mage in a while. But I think the content can be fun.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it just like what you do with the job is really where it's really going to determine how fun it is, because even when it comes to Blue Mage, like I still see people even in my chat saying that they want Blue Mage to be able to go into like roulettes and duties like that.
Oh.
I don't know about that, but I kind of get it, because other than doing savage fights and getting a party together, what do you do as a Blue Mage?
Besides, I guess like the carnival thing, and then PF and the savage fights. I don't know. I mean, explode randomly. Yes.
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I guess they limited it because Blue Mage is pretty OP. It is pretty strong. So taking it into like normal content where they can just like freeze a whole bunch of mobs and monsters and blow them up, it does seem a little bit overpowering. So I guess I can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is a little bit too limited. But maybe it'll be different with Beastmaster Copio.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right. The other big news, of course, is female Hrothgar. I know a lot of people, even a lot of people in my FC Discord were so hyped about that.
Yeah.
My only question, and I think this is the question that everybody had as soon as they saw it, is can they wear hats?
Oh.
Because I don't want another Vieira Hrothgar situation when it comes to hats. And when I saw the video that they showed off, the animations look great. The running, the jumping, everything looks great. But I didn't see any hats on that video.
Yeah, it might not be able to. I don't play Hrothgar, so I didn't know. I knew it was a situation for Vieira, but I didn't know it was like that for Hrothgar too.
Yeah.
Which that sucks. I don't know. Maybe you update.
Yeah. Well, like I've been saying, like the graphics update, hopefully that is when they're going to fix the hats for Vieira. But now that FanFest is over and they haven't really said anything about that, I wonder how many people are going to be angry. Because
I don't know.
The hat thing has been something that a lot of people in the community have been, talking about for a while.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I would be more passionate about it if that's a race I played. But I don't have any issues. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Right.
No, but really, like, it does suck that even like some outfits were like gender locked, and there's like some pants that are only for male characters that I wish female could also wear and stuff like that. But no, it sucks to not be able to use every like item in the game just like other like races can and stuff like that. So no, I get where they're coming from with that. I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best, hoping that maybe with the update they'll like look into like what the player feedback is, and try to work our way around that.
Yeah. Yoshi P also said that this might be the last race added to the game. I was curious, if that is not the case, what other race would you like to see in this game? I've been saying for a while now, I kind of want like a Medion style race, like a bird race.
Oh, that'd be really cute, actually. Oh, that'd be really cool. I never really thought about it. I mean, there's certain NPCs that I've interacted with. I know there's some in Gridania. They have like these little horns, like these little ram horns. I forgot. I don't know what race they're called. I wish I knew at the top of my head. But I thought they were like really cute. So I was like, oh, maybe in the future they'll add them. But they're like, no, like Fem Hrothgar is going to be like the last race they add. But, like Square Enix does like making money, so maybe if they see like, I don't know, it could be another money maker, they might bring in another race.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they bring in something else, because they've already said that they still have 10 more years of content for this game, so maybe one more would be nice. But
I'm sure it'll probably be another one or two.
Yeah. Talking about Dawntrail, they did put out a poster, and one thing that I noticed on that poster was that Cryo, Thancred, and Urianger were on that poster with Arenvale and like all the other people from Dawntrail, but I didn't see the twins, I didn't see Y'shtola, and I didn't see Graha, which makes me wonder, because Yoshi P already said that the Scions are going to be divided in Dawntrail. Does that mean that it's going to be the twins, Y'shtola, and Graha against us and Urianger, Thancred, and Cryo? Maybe Estinian?
Oh, so when I read that they're going to be divided, I just meant like they're not going to be like together. I didn't realize that it could be like they're against each other.
Well,
oh, okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've been wanting some conflict within the Scions.
Wanting some drama.
Exactly.
Spice things up a bit.
Yeah, because so let me ask you this. How big of a part do you want the Scions to play in Dawntrail? Because they've been around for a while now. Do you want them to be around? Do you want them to take a back seat? How do you feel about that?
I'll be happy as long as Estinian is still there and around. I'm the big Estinian simp, so.
I mean, how can you not?
Wait, are you an Estinian simp too?
I love Estinian. I love Thancred. I think those are I think character-wise, they have like the most interesting story, and I love Y'shtola because Y'shtola is, she's boss, But we'll see. The way that I see it is the twins, Y'shtola is going to be on one side, and then everyone else is going to be on the other side. And I think Graha is going to be in the middle, trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the Scions together.
That sounds very much something like Graha would do. Yeah.
We're also getting the level cap increased to 100. So my question to you is, well, first, who do you main?
Summoner.
Okay, so this is actually perfect, because my question was going to be, what do you think Summoner's 100 summon is going to be? Like, are we going to get a Hydaelyn, maybe? A Hades?
I would like to summon Perfect Alexander. Just bring out Perfect Alexander on the field.
That would be cool. Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of Final Fantasy games, you're able to like summon Shiva and stuff like that. So it'd be cool if there'd be like a cool Shiva summon. Yeah. Because we have like Titan, Garuda, Ifrit, and then Phoenix and Bahamut. So, oh my gosh, if they introduce like another one, yeah. I mean, I know I'm memeing when I say Perfect Alexander, but if it's something like that, awesome. Like that'd be really. Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah. Maybe. Or I'd be happy, me personally, if it was like Drippy. Also. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like either like something that looks really like badass or like something like really cutesy. Like, I'm okay with.
Yeah. And that's actually why I loved Cryo in the trailer, because it's just all super cutesy. I was talking to my fiance, and she's been wanting a class, or like a job where it's like a magical girl, and she was like, that's like the closest that we're gonna get to a magical girl.
Yeah, I can see that. I was a little conflicted at first because I was like, oh, painter, like what are we gonna do with that? And then when they showed like the summoning of like the Moogle, and the Moogle shoots his laser beam and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that looks really fun. That looks really cool. And when they drew like I don't know, when they were drawing like, what is it, kind of like calligraphy art style, right? Is that what it is? I'm not sure, but a lot of it they made the class look a lot cooler than what I anticipated it to come off as. Because I was like, what is this like Splatoon character? And then like they showcased it, and I was like, oh, that actually looks like really cool and like really fun to play.
Yeah. No, I'm totally hyped. We're also getting new lifestyle content. So they introduced this something as similar to Island Sanctuary, something called Cosmic Exploration, and it'll take place in space. They were talking about how we're going to be going to different planets, and it seems very crafter heavy, which to me, I have a feeling this is going to be like a Diadem 2.0, like something where you can level up crafters, and that is what I think they're gonna be doing with it. But I'm just wondering, like, what came to your mind when you saw that?
I didn't associate it with like, I guess like Island Sanctuary, and like you said, more like crafter kind of thing. Are your crafters maxed, by the way? Are your crafters all like,
or almost, but yes.
So I have some at like level 80 or like level 15 or 10. I've been talking that I was gonna level my crafters for like years now. So I never really got into like the crafting content, but it sounds fun. I've seen like videos of like how crazy like when Diadem was released. Yeah. And there's like massive people like in there, and how chaotic it was. So I would like to be a part of it. I'll get my crafters up there eventually.
Crafting is interesting because you learn really fast how little inventory space you have. Because in any time you, especially if you start from level 1, you're gonna have so much items. So I wonder how they're going to implement this, but I'm excited. I really did enjoy Island Sanctuary, and the reason why I brought up Island Sanctuary is because that is what they also called Island Sanctuary when they debuted it. It was lifestyle like content.
Lifestyle, yeah, that makes
sense. Did you do much of Island Sanctuary? Oh, okay.
I think that answers. Yeah. I mean, there's some good like incentives and motivation. I think you can get some booty shorts out of it. You can get like a motorcycle. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can get from it. I guess I haven't really gotten around to like, I guess, turn my brain off and like try to just collect and gather and do everything. Is your Island Sanctuary like maxed out?
Yeah, yes.
Like cap level? Okay.
So I did max it out. I haven't placed any furniture because I just haven't. But I thought it was an interesting attempt at making casual content for this game. I think my issue with Island Sanctuary has always been that it's solo, which I know that's how it was marketed. You know, it was like it's supposed to be a solo experience, but when you're there, it does become really lonely, and you know, you're kind of just and because there's no influence to the, I guess, outside game, it kind of does, you know, it does get, I don't want to say boring really fast, but it just becomes like a spreadsheet simulator, and I think that was like the issue that I had with Island Sanctuary, where I wanted something more like a Stardew Valley, like an Animal Crossing, but so I think it was a good first attempt, and there's a lot that they can do to build off of it. I think they learned a lot from Island Sanctuary.
Yeah, I guess like in my mind, I was thinking like, what if they did it like the same way you can visit like people's houses or apartments, but then there's so many different players and they all individually have islands, so maybe that would be too much. But yeah, because I know you can have like friends come visit your island and stuff like that, but it's still like, yeah, basically
you
like,
can't do anything. Yeah, and I think that was the issue. Like, at least let me gather when I'm visiting a friend, but you can't even do that. You could just walk around, and that's kind of really it when it comes to Island Sanctuary.
Do you think people would abuse it? Like, I would, like, what if, like, I was like, hey, like, I'm too lazy to level up my island because someone come do it for me?
I mean, well,
put them to work,
right? I don't know. It's I think one thing that I learned about this game is that, you know, everybody has takes, everybody has ideas of like what they think would be a good idea, but once you actually put it like into actually, like, if you actually like implement it, then you could actually see where people go right, where people were wrong. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. We're also, of course, getting new raids in Dawntrail. The Alliance raid is a reference to FF11, which I don't know anything about that game.
Me neither. No, I don't.
So I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. But the one that I'm most excited for, of course, is the 8-person raid, the Arcadion, which to me and to a lot of other people on Twitter, it looks a lot like a GPU. But the aesthetic of this new raid and the aesthetic of the new location Solution 9 is very Cyberpunk inspired, in my opinion. And I am so hyped for that because I've always wanted some sort of expansion where, well, this isn't really what they're doing, but in my mind, I always wanted something where we either go to like a different planet and there's like a future cyberpunk civilization, like an advanced civilization, or like if you go into the future and then you have like this like advanced civilization. Like, I've always wanted something like that. And when I first saw this, I gotta tell you, I fucking screamed. It was like, this was made for me, I feel, because I love this aesthetic and I love the look of it. What do you think about it?
Oh, I love it too. And if it's like another city you can like hang out with, like I know some people usually hang out like in Limsa or Charlie, and they're all gonna hang out there now. And I'm like really excited as usual. Like I'm so excited for like the Savage or like the raid music in general. Oh, I can't wait for that. How that's gonna sound like. Also, so is it Solution 9 that it's called? I was told that that's like a Final Fantasy 9 reference. It's like a character's attack. I don't remember which character it was. I haven't played 9 yet, but I'm gonna make it a goal because I finished 4 when like Endwalker's basically almost done.
Sure.
Ideally, you would have finished it before Endwalker came out. So I want to check out like 11 and 9 because there's gonna be like those kind of references in Dawntrail. So I want to finish those ideally before Dawntrail comes out. So we'll see.
Yeah, you have plenty of time.
It took me a year to finish 4, so we'll see.
Of course, we're also getting a new ultimate, like we were talking about before, called Futures Unwritten. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that they expected Shinryu, and they were a little bummed because it wasn't a Shinryu fight. I think for me personally, one of the ultimates that I'm waiting for that I really want is like the Four Lords trials all together, like a 4v8. I think that would be awesome.
Oh, like the Four Lords and like the Warring Triads? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see. Gaia and Reen are making a comeback, of course. And
I love them.
Yeah, me too.
I love them so much.
But I do want to ask you, how is DSR going for you?
It's really good. So me and my friend V, we're the only ones that are like fresh, brand new to it, and then the other ones have like basically have already cleared. So they're like helping us guide through. So we've made a pretty fast prog. I believe we're like on day. Oh God, how many days are we on? Yeah. Maybe we're on like on day 10 or 11 or 12. But we're already progging phase 5, and I believe there's 7 phases.
Wow.
So pretty good prog. Yeah, pretty good prog
That's
on
crazy.
that. I heard so many good things about Dragon Song and how fun it is and whatnot, and I've been having a lot of fun with it for sure. So that's why like I was really pushing for trying to try out the ultimate, and then also like obviously get a clear for it.
Yeah.
And then the only one left after is top. I know that so many people were initially excited about when top was announced because it's like, oh, like I love that raid tier. I think it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
And then top was released, and I have never seen so many people like I don't know, like have this passion for like this huge distaste for an ultimate before, and it was like suffering, and it was like I feel like I only know a handful of people that actually really like that ultimate, and then like 90% of the raiders that I've watched or talked to just absolutely hate that. So
wow.
Yeah, I was telling a friend, and then I was like, oh, like I'm really excited for Eden because it was my first raid here, and they're like, that's how I felt about top. And I was like, okay, don't like. I'm sure Eden's gonna be fun. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. Have you completed all of the other ultimates?
I've completed all the other ones except Dragon Song that we're progging right now, and then top. I did get to phase 3 in Rage, but then the new Savage tier came out, and we took a break. And then after the Savage tier was cleared, we were supposed to go back to it, but then I wanted to do Dragon Song more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so top, I'm kind of saving. I'm kind of still pushing it a little bit there. But for now, I think after we clear Dragon Song, I don't know, maybe I'll wait for Eden to come out and I'll save top for last. Maybe.
Yeah. What can you tell me about like streaming progs? Because every time I've done like a prog for like a Savage raid, there's a lot of emotions that tend to go around. So I'm just curious as to like how do you deal with that?
Prog for Savage or ultimate?
For like an ultimate, because I would think that would be way harder.
So for ultimate, it's hard because I have to ignore chat for a while, and because there's been so many instances where I will get distracted by something chat said, and ultimates some stuff is like really fast paced. Yeah. So I will kill the party. I will wipe us, and I have to be careful to, because if it's hard to, I feel like for me, it's hard to talk and also concentrate on raid. So if I'm really comfortable with a mechanic, I'll be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm like chatting with them. I'm talking about the most random stuff. And then I will be like, okay, this part, like I need to focus, okay? I need to focus. I don't know what's going on in this part. I think a lot of people tend to tune into my prog streams because I have a habit of screaming a lot. Not at people, but at like panic. I like panic and I scream and I run around. Very Monka steer that gets used a lot in my chat. Because I'm also a little bit directionally challenged. So you're supposed to be like, okay, go northwest, and I'm spinning my camera around and running around because I don't know where that is.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's I feel like when I'm progging it, if I'm comfortable and I'm waiting for more people to catch up, then it's easier to like talk and play at the same time. But if it's something that I really need to focus on, then I will not read, and I will because I don't want to feel like I'm the reason why we didn't prog or didn't make it to the next phase or something like that. So it's like a balance. You have to find a balance of juggling it. So I feel like it's like the harder thing to stream. You would think it's easy because you don't have to plan out like a draft, a timeline, a sketch, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to plan everything in advance for what you're gonna do, what's gonna happen next. Yeah. Because you're just progging an ultimate, but it's because the ultimate is like the hardest content in the game. You have to try to figure out how to juggle interacting with someone. It's like the same thing. If somebody was right there talking to you and you're trying to talk to them, but also do like a mechanic in the game, you're just kind of like, So yeah, it's it's hard, and some people think like raid prog is boring, so they like it's just kind of like they'll like want to talk about other stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I find that the streams, so it's different. So the streams that are like the most fun for me are the ones where there's a lot of interaction with chat. Like I'm like, say I'm recording like for an adventure play video or for like whatever kind of video.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of interaction there. But for raid prog, it's very like I have to focus on myself and I have to kind of like neglect chat just a little bit. And it's just for the sake of like doing this content, and I'm sharing it because there are people that do want to watch, you know, how a person is progging an ultimate, because I've also had some people show up in my YouTube comments and they're like, they see how I interact and the way I act, and they're like, there's no way this girl actually cleared ultimates. Like, she paid. And so, like, I even have a VOD channel specifically. Like, yeah, exactly. I have a VOD channel, and it's like, raid prog day, blah, blah, blah. So I don't upload that to my main YouTube. That's on, like, my VOD channel for, like, other stuff. So then I can, like, I'm like, here are the logs, here are the videos, here's the proof. Okay? So, yeah, it's just, it's a lot, I feel. It's, like, easy to do, like, easy content to stream, for sure, because you don't have to plan anything, like I said, but it's hard to like juggle things.
Yeah, I get that. It's tough being a streamer, you guys.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. It's very oversaturated.
Yeah. No, I think for me, I don't stream that often, but from the times that I have, it's so draining. And I think that's one of the things that I never expected. Like, I always have to take a nap after I stream, because it does get to you, and I don't get why.
No, well, because it's like mental exhaustion. Like, you have so many thoughts going on through your head, like whether like what you're doing is enough, are you being like, you know, entertaining enough, like is like chat enjoying what they're watching, and then you're just like, you always have like these thoughts going on in your head. You're mentally draining yourself, and it's kind of like affecting your body as well, because I don't think people that have never tried streaming, I don't think they realize how very draining it is, because sometimes after, like, if it's a long stream, like, I need to go sleep. Like, it is very like mentally draining. And even then, like, for people who stream really long hours, like, I don't think it's ideal to be sitting at your desk for like 8 hours.
That's a job
at a time, even though it's basically at a job. It is. That's why they have breaks and stuff like that. But no, it is you're drained because it's like very like mentally draining, and like it starts affecting your body physically too. Yeah.
Yoshi P also gave us some more info about the graphics update, which I feel like a lot of the comments that I've seen are split like down the middle. Some people are saying that it doesn't go far enough. Some people are saying that this is like awesome. Personally, I think it's great. I think you could obviously see that the textures, the skin, hair, shadows were like the biggest things that they focused on. I think for me, if I was on the team, I wouldn't have done screenshots. I would have done like a video showing the comparisons. That's probably what I'm gonna do when Dawntrail launches, because I feel like when it comes to screenshots, when it comes to like, even when it comes to like showing off gear, I think like the screenshots look a lot different than what it actually looks like in game when you're actually playing it.
Yeah, video would definitely be like a good way of showcasing it, especially when they just show a screenshot and it's like one side of the face. You don't get like different angles of it, so a video will be able to like showcase that all around.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm excited for it. We're also getting dual die system. So I know this has been something that a lot of people have been talking about. For me, I consider myself a casual. I consider myself like a glam lover. So the dual die system, this is what I am probably like the most hyped about, because there's gonna be a lot, especially when it comes to like G posing and making videos. It's gonna be great. Obviously the devs are the ones that are choosing what can and can't be dyed, because I know there are some people that were saying like that we're gonna be able to dye everything, which doesn't make any sense. But I'm just wondering how long before people start asking for 3 triple die system, because
that's
it's gonna happen.
Started.
Yeah.
It already has started. Yeah, I've already heard comments of like, "Yo, 2 dies. When are we gonna get 3?" Like that's already started.
Yeah.
I think we're like as humans, we're like greedy little gremlins. Like, of course, like we're gonna want more. But yeah, that's super exciting because there's so many pieces that I find so cute. And if I dye them a certain color, because only specific types of the glam are dyed, I'm like, well, they clash. Like it doesn't look good together. I wish I could also dye this part. So actually, I think that's pretty huge as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We're also getting, of course, the Final Fantasy 16 collab in April. So I cannot wait for the glam and all the items from that collab.
Yeah, I think it's like early April that it's releasing. My goal, because I haven't finished 16 yet, my goal is to finish 16 before April.
Yeah.
So I can fully appreciate it more. I'm sure there won't be like spoilers and stuff like that, but it's just my personal goal to finish it. I was so excited when they made Torgal a mount, the dog, because I love dogs. It's so cute. So that's another thing I'm most excited about is Torgal, to be honest. But,
and then one thing that I noticed is that there was no info on the Dragoon and the Astro rework. Is that still gonna come out? Because I feel like we should have gotten something about that by now.
I would assume so, and if not, I think like for Endwalker, they had like before Endwalker came out, they had like a job changes trailer. So if it hasn't been announced yet, maybe they'll showcase it then. Yeah. Because I started playing during Shadowbringers, so I'm still. And so I've only was there for the release of like my first expansion release was Endwalker. So I'm not too familiar if they do it with every expansion, but I would assume if they probably are gonna do some changes. So they probably will do it when like the Dawntrail job changes trailer comes out probably.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. But other than that, I think that was pretty much it for FanFest. Is there anything that that you wanted to like bring up about FanFest? Anything that you saw about FanFest?
I kind of wish Yoshi P cosplayed the Pictomancer. I know there's like a Photoshop picture of him.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's basically. I think we basically touched up on everything.
Yeah. I haven't. I bought my ticket for the stream of the concerts, so I'm planning on watching that tonight. Yeah.
Ooh,
so that should be fun. Have you been to a FanFest before?
Yeah, I went to FanFest in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. Oh, me too.
Yeah. So you saw the Primals live then, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my god, that experience was that is such a memorable experience for me. Seeing the Primals live in concert was oh my god, it's just I want to experience that again.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go to the next one, but I don't know. Like I've been to Vegas a lot, and I gotta be honest, I never really liked Vegas. So I think the next time around, I really want to go to a JP Fan Fest. So I think that's what I'm gonna try and do for the next time.
For JP Fan Fest, did you have to have like? Wasn't it also like lottery based? Do you have to have like a JP account for that, or?
Oh.
I wasn't sure if that's also like that too.
Damn. Huh. Well, there goes my plans.
Well, I don't know. There could be a way around it.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, of
we'll
course.
See. So okay. I want now. We could just segue into talking about you as a awesome content creator. So I think first what I want to ask you is what did you think of A Realm Reborn when you first played through it?
Oh, I think my experience is probably different from someone who is playing it alone by themselves because my experience with it was like very fun because I was streaming it and so I had people along the way that were like wanted to help out and do the content with me or like it was like a very enjoyable experience because it felt like I was playing it with friends.
Yeah.
So because I was streaming it and I had people show up like to help me out with stuff in game and run the content as is. Like, and we just like talk about other stuff while we're playing it. Like, it didn't feel as slow paced as a lot of people, complain about it being really slow and boring. And personally, like, I actually enjoyed the story for A Realm Reborn, and then obviously it gets even better in Heavensward and so forth. But yeah, so it's hard for me, I feel, to compare my experience to someone else who would experience the game like by themselves and maybe not have like a group of people like helping them out with content and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that's actually an interesting point. So, do you consider yourself more of a streamer? Do you consider yourself like a YouTuber, content creator? Like when people ask you, what do you do, or like what your hobby is, or like how do you usually respond to that?
If people ask me, I just say YouTube because I feel like Twitch is still not commonly known. Yeah. So if I'm like, yeah, I'm on Twitch, they're like, Twitch? Like, what does that mean? So I'm like, oh yeah, Twitch TV is a site where you stream and play games, and then and I don't want to have to do that every single time. So I'm like, yeah, I make like YouTube videos. And I feel like most of my community is like on YouTube, because on YouTube I have like 17K subscribers and stuff like that. And so some of them will come over to my Twitch, like, oh, I've seen your YouTube videos. I don't stream as much as I should, I think, to consider myself a streamer. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if you stream, you're a streamer already. There's not like you have to stream a certain amount of hours or time or days to be a streamer. So you're a streamer. If you hit go live and you're live, you're on stream, you're a streamer. So I guess to me, like, it's just easier to explain to other people. If they're like, what do you do? Then like, you'd be like, oh, I make videos on YouTube and I upload to TikTok is very well known as well. So yeah, so something like that. So I'm just like, yeah, I make videos on YouTube, and they're like, can I see your channel? And I'm like, oh no.
So and that's actually my second question is like what have the people around you, like your IRL friends, your family, like when the topic of your internet personality comes up, what is that like?
I feel that they don't really talk about how I'm like in my videos. Oh my gosh. There's this one, I don't know if I took it down. No, I think it might still be up. I have this YouTube short. I think it was like my birthday, and I had like a shot of soju. Yeah. And so like my mom is like subscribed to me on YouTube, and she saw like the YouTube show. She was like, "You were drinking? Is this real?" And I was like, "No, mom, it's fake." I was like, "It's just a meme." It's just water. Like, yeah. I was like, "It's not real. I just did it for the stream." And she's like, "Okay." But I don't know. There's only been like a time where like my sister was like, "Oh yeah, I was at a school, and like this girl, like I was watching your TikTok," and she was like, "Oh yeah, I know her from TikTok," and I'm like, "I don't upload on TikTok as much." I actually found out about you because of your TikToks. Like your TikToks have like shown up on my like For You page, and I was like, "Oh, I recognize his name." Let's go. Yeah. So like as far as like IRL stuff, there's only been like other experiences where like, "Oh yeah, like my little brother watches you," or like blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Really? Okay."
I get you. It's funny. Yeah. It's funny because and I don't know. Like, tell me if this is weird, but when it comes to my content, I never really shared it with like friends, with like families, and the reason for that has always been because I know that they are not 14 fans, and all of my content is Final Fantasy 14, and because of that, since I know that they're not fans, I know they're not really gonna understand it or get it or enjoy the content, and that's why like it's not like I've hidden it per se, but it's just not something that I share with people like around me. And I was just wondering, like, is that like, did you go down the same path like with your YouTube channel?
Like with like friends and family, did I like show them? I mean, I feel like some of them. So a lot of my friends and family members like play games themselves. Yeah. So it was easier to just be like, oh yeah, this is just from a game I play. And it's just like a funny little video kind of thing. And then they won't like think too much about it. I feel like maybe it's more common, I guess, maybe like older generation that'll be like more judgmental maybe. But it hasn't really been like an issue or a problem for me. And I don't think it's weird if you decide not to share it, because sometimes you just don't want to deal with having to explain yourself, and that's fine.
Yeah. What was it hard for you to understand like the YouTube meta, like when it comes to like thumbnails and titles and like all of that stuff? Was that difficult for you?
I mean, I feel like even now it's just kind of like, is this a good thumbnail? Is this a good enough of a title? Like I've learned, especially because I do a lot of video editing and I love video editing. So I've looked up like a lot of, even on YouTube videos on how to video edit, blah, 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 this and that.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say for sure, and I've told other people that I've been wanting to like upload stuff on YouTube, is that you can have an amazing YouTube video, but if you do not have a good thumbnail and a good title, it's not going to get people to click on it. So it doesn't matter how many hours of work you put into it. If it doesn't seem like a very appealing thumbnail, or like a interesting title, like people are just not going to click on it. So sometimes like it'll take me like hours, like just like over an hour just to figure out like a thumbnail or like a title and stuff like that.
It's anxiety. It's tough.
It's just as much work for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was talking to another creator and they basically told me that they got to the point where they start off with a title and a thumbnail and then make a video off of that. And I was like, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have a video coming up that I've already kind of like, because it was inspired by this other 14 video that I watched.
Yeah.
And so like I went into like my little like notepad and I titled it like what I thought maybe the video could be titled and then I wrote like this whole script for it.
Yeah.
And so now I just need to like record the script and put like the recorded footage on there. But yeah, I think it's easier to work that way. When you have an idea, kind of have in your head like vision what kind of thumbnail you want and then what title you want. That way like you're not trying to struggle to find like the words like after the video is made. You kind of have an idea and like a sense of direction when you already have the title for your video.
What motivated you to wanting to get into YouTube, Twitch, making content for the internet? Like how did you get into that?
Oh, well, I've mentioned that I've always loved video editing. Like I've like even like I had a laptop and it was like Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
And I was like editing. I did like a Kingdom Hearts like music video and stuff like that. Like I've always loved like just like video like making like AMVs or whatever. Like video editing was like fun for me. Linkin Park with Naruto or something. Yeah. So yeah, like that and stuff was like so fun for me and I love being like creative with that and stuff like that. And then when I started uploading on YouTube, it was more for like, oh, well, I'm vlogging. I kind of want to have a place to put my memories. And what really initially kicked off my YouTube channel, though, was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because, have you played that one yet? You have? It's that scene where Cloud goes to get a massage from Madame M. And I picked like the luxury one, like the most expensive one. So obviously he was like making some stuff. I uploaded like my reaction to it only because I thought it was funny. And I wanted to like share with friends, like what I experienced like in that game. And then I was used to getting like 100 views in like a week. And then that one got like a few thousand views in like a day. And then it like popped off and then I started uploading like, oh, people like this stuff and I like sharing it. So I started with Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then I had someone come in my chat and they're like, oh, I think you'll really like Final Fantasy 14. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can give it a try. And so someone gifted me 14. Someone gifted me 14. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, play for like a month, see if I like it. And 3 years later, like I'm still playing it. So, yeah.
When did you start taking content creation like serious? Yeah. Like what was that conversation with your own brain like?
What classifies as serious? Like
consistently?
Consistently? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say last year then.
Okay.
I wasn't, because I was very like inconsistent before, because I have been uploading to my YouTube for like the past few years now, but it was like bad. It was like maybe once a month, once every few months. it was not consistent at all. And I was like at around like 8K subscribers.
Yeah.
And last year I started to think around maybe February or March that I started uploading like also YouTube shorts, and then started being more consistent with my content. And then I went from like, and I ended like the year with like almost double the amount of subscribers that I had.
Yeah.
Because I feel like consistency helps, not just with like obviously like YouTube, but with streaming as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, for YouTube it's like consistent. Like the more, because even then like I don't know if because you upload on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that, and it's hard to talk about this with people who don't go through it themselves, that when you upload a video and if it's not performing as well as you would have hoped, and it's kind of like despair. It's kind of like you try not to tie your worth to numbers, analytics, stuff like that. That's another part of like content creation that I went to therapy for. I'm not even lying. I went to therapy for a whole number of different reasons, but content creation was like one of them, because like when my videos started getting more popular, people were like coming after me just for my voice or my looks and stuff, and I have never received so many like angry, hateful comments. It threw me into a spiral of depression, because it was my first experience dealing with that. And so like with more exposure, you're gonna get more people like that, but then you're also gonna get more people that like, you know, generally enjoy your content, stuff like that. So it's like a roller coaster. People think like, oh, content creation is so easy, you just upload a video and that's that, but there's so much that goes into it. It's just yeah, so I only recently started being like consistent with my stuff like last year. Yeah.
What do you consider a successful YouTube video?
Initially, when you're done editing the video, if you are happy with that video, as cheesy as it sounds, and I'm doing this
I love it.
to help all, okay,
I love it.
like if you're done with the video and you're like, this is a good video, I love this, I'm very proud of my work, this is something that you are very much like happy and proud to showcase to everyone else, like on YouTube or whatever platform. If you're happy with that and you're very proud of yourself, that should already be like successful, because I don't think it's healthy to tie, and I'm still struggling with this myself, to tie numbers like, oh, like, because you get greedy, right? Like you're like, oh, like before you would be so excited if a video got like 5,000 views. Now it's like, oh man, it could get 10K views, but when it reaches 10K, I'm like, man, it could get 15. It reaches 15. Oh, I wish it was like 40K views. Like you're never really happy, because you keep tying your self-worth to numbers. Like if not enough people comment, like it doesn't get that many views, blah blah blah. Like it's, and I think like a lot of people end up like piecing out of like streaming and YouTube, because it's like they tie their self-worth to that. They're like, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not good enough for that, so they stop. But I feel like if you have a passion for it and you genuinely like it and enjoy it, then like continue pursuing it, because it's mostly for yourself, right? Granted, you are doing it because, say, like you want to make people smile, you want to make them laugh, blah, 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 you know, stuff like that, whatever your reasons are, but like you also gotta like put yourself first.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I completely get it.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to stream, or do you prefer to like sit down and like create a script and write up like a YouTube video? Because I know you have a couple of those.
Yeah, so I enjoy both of them. For streaming, I also have like my viewer account hidden, and I've told my chat this before, like don't tell me how many viewers are watching, because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, like streaming, I started streaming because I felt like I didn't have many people that shared this. I didn't know many people in real life that shared very similar interests to what I had. So I wanted to stream playing games, like make friends that way. And so like that's what started with me. Like for me, streaming is, I love the interaction you get with like chat. Like that's the main thing for me. That's like the highlight for me.
Yeah.
And obviously like they come and they want to see like what you're doing, and then it ties into like, oh god, am I being entertaining enough for them, blah, blah, blah. But the most part, I don't know, I feel like I like them both for different reasons. Like YouTube and like writing a script and stuff like that, obviously it's like more chill and laid back, because I don't have to constantly worry like, oh, how do I look on camera? Do I, you know, how to, you know, am I being funny enough? Am I being like interactive enough? Like it's just kind of like, oh, so many questions that are like running through my head. That I worry about when I'm live. And so it's more like I'm more to myself. I'm more comfortable when I'm like writing a script and like putting everything together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like they each have like their own enjoyments.
Yeah. So I'm like a 1-2 viewer Andy, and
Okay.
I always wondered, how do you like, what kind of advice would you give someone, you know, who's just starting streaming, who doesn't really have that many people in their chat? Because I found that when it comes to streaming, chat is like another character or like a sidekick of the streamer, because, you know, like there's like a give and take when it comes to like chat and streaming. But when you don't have that, I'm just wondering, how do you stay engaged? How do you keep it entertaining? Like, what do you remember about your time when you first started off, when you didn't really have that many viewers?
I think I was like, so I think at that point you should like obviously enjoy whatever content you're doing, whatever game you're playing, and just make sure you keep talking to yourself, keep talking out loud, because whatever like your train of thoughts, like it's obviously more enjoyable to watch someone that's like, oh, blah blah blah, like kind of like narrating their own gameplay, their own story, like making comments here and there, or even like talk about a random story or whatever. Like I think that's more entertaining like to watch, and it'll like, it's easier for people to make a comment about than if you're just like sitting there just playing a game in silence. Yeah. Because it's kind of like, okay, I'm literally just watching someone just sit there and play a game. That's what people think about when they're like, you watch other people play games? Like, that's like what they think about. They don't think about the entertaining part of it.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that? It's like,
yeah. No, I get it. And I think it wasn't until I actually went live for the first time when I realized that that's basically how I play video games. I just play it in silence. So getting to that point where you're just trying to make conversation, you're trying to just keep talking. I think that to me, and I feel like to a lot of people who barely start off, that's always like the biggest hurdle that they have to get over. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I like was streaming, before I started streaming 14, I was streaming like a lot of Tekken gameplay. But for me, like that was easier to watch because I like screamed a lot, and I was like, like, you know, like I was very like, what's the word for it? Animated? I don't know. Like I was like screaming, and like, you know, people like to come and fight against me and stuff like that. So I guess people will come to watch you for like something, for like a certain something, I feel. So if they feel like you're really easy to talk to, or you're funny, or like there's gotta be something, right? Something that people are like, oh, this is the reason I watch their streams for, or their content for, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
I want to thank you again, Miru, for coming on, for you know, going through FanFest with me. This has been very enlightening, very, very fun. What do you have going on that people can expect from your content in 2024? What do you got going on?
So I'm planning on being even more consistent with my work. So more videos coming out monthly. More like, I want to do like more variety streams and not just always 14. So if anything, the main thing though is just like, I want to be putting out more content on like YouTube, TikTok, all the other platforms and stuff. So just seeing like more videos, more creative videos, and not just be like a React Andy to everything. More creative content, is like a major thing for sure.
Awesome. And where can people find you?
It'll be youtube.com/Mirubuns, or like anything, just put /Mirubuns.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. Thank you to Twitch chat. Thank you for TikTok chat. Thank you for everyone for being here and spending an hour with me and Mirubuns. And thanks
for having me.
Thank you again. All right. Bye, everybody.